Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Good afternoon. It's time for the Daily LockerGnome report, and I'm going to be your host today, Joe Pirillo, and I kind of feel like an investigative reporter today because yesterday I talked a little bit about the Windows 8, and so today I happened to be over into Bellevue because my wife needed to do some shopping. I have to go because I carry the credit cards, and that's my job. So anyway, I happened to go into the Microsoft store, and I told them I didn't like Windows 8. A couple of the young ladies in there, and oh, why not? And I told them that I used XP still, but I did use Windows 7 on my laptop. But here she said, "Did you really see it?" And she pulled out this thing, looked like an iPad, but I think it was like just their what do you call it? Tablet. They got a little tablet piece, and she starts swiping it around, and quite honestly, and then she gave it to me, and I was swiping around where she was showing me, and it looked kind of neat on that, because when you swipe from the right, then it gave you a little roller type menu that gave you all the applications that you had open. So in just seeing that, it seemed to me that my reactions yesterday were probably right, in that they've really designed this new Windows 8 for tablets. And so they're trying to take it from that unit and put it on a regular computer, like a desktop computer. And I think there are going to be a lot of people that are not going to like that. I don't think I'll be the only one. Then I also went into the Apple store, and that was kind of funny too, because I asked I'd like to see the iPad. And the young lady looked at me, she says, "You mean the iPad 3? And I says, "No, I want to see the new iPad." So she kind of caught herself, but that was I got a kick out of that. And this is my collector's hat here, so I thought I'd wear this today. So I hope you're all doing well, and maybe I think someone's going to come and kind of show me how the Apple computer works, because I've never used that either. I've been a PC person. Now, my wife uses Mac, and I hear her saying things under her breath, so it'll be kind of interesting to actually sit at one myself. So welcome everybody here. I really do like doing this. It's kind of fun.
So basically what you're saying about Windows 8 is that your son Chris was right, is in that Windows 8 should shine in a touch experience and will probably suck on the desktop if Microsoft keeps bifurcating the user experiences.
Let it go down in history that my son is right.
Yes.
So.
All right. So we're welcome everybody. Oh. Thank you, Dad. Thought it'd be kind of a fun change of pace to bring him in at the lead. That's something different. Never done that before. But he will be coming back if you guys give this video 200 likes to sit in front of my iMac. And I've loaded up a completely new user, Joe, and I want to have him use OS X for the first time. Just kind of have him click around much like he did in Windows to see, how he gets along with it. Again, default user. And new user setup and everything. I might ask him to do a couple of things like I asked in yesterday's live TLDR episode. Just so you know, that Microsoft Windows video of Dad futzing around with it for 4 minutes trying to figure out how to get back to the live tiles apparently has made the rounds at Microsoft. So they are listening. And hopefully they'll hear what you had to say about the follow-up. It was much in line with everything that I've said about Windows 8. It should shine in touch experiences, but on the desktop, if they keep Metro and Arrow and combine them, will be an absolute catastrophe. So welcome all you gnomies. We've got S. McGuire, Matt Guru 15, DJ Mix, Dr. Volamut, Ed's Computer Support, Jamie Bouch, Ben Tar, Simba 8420, Scottish Tech Kid 98. I hope you're old enough to be here. Christian T. We got Tyler Biedka, April Elise Martin. Why did I say Johnson? Right Noob, The Marshmallow something, Metallic X Squink, Magic Tracks, Brian M, AR Razorback, or Arizona Razorback, I'd assume. Is that a sports team? Not sure. Stacey Ferris, Tech Guru, Daniel Bushor, Phil Esbit, and Fogarty as well. Got a few Nomies, and a lot of them are in business. In fact, I realized just before going live, one of the Nomies actually got potentially a job working at home as a tech support person because he was in Nomies. He ended up scoring, I guess, a perfect score on his test. That goes out to Cliff, and I don't see Cliff in chat right now. I know he was in TeamSpeak a few minutes earlier.
AR is Arizona. I mean, AR is Arkansas.
Arkansas, sorry, thank you. AZ, Arizona, sorry. God, state abbreviations, sometimes I just don't understand them. It took me forever to realize it was Arkansas, not Arkansas, even though it's spelled Arkansas. And why isn't if it's Arkansas, why isn't it Kansas? Why is it Kansas, not Kansas, instead of, anyway. That's going, Dad thought it was funny. Apparently we share the same sense of humor. Why? I mean, really, if you think about it, driving through Kansas. What? Kansas! Sorry for anybody who's from Kansas. So we'll go ahead and keep the ball rolling here. Let's go ahead and tell everybody that we are live streaming. Guess what? And there's the link. So now everybody who has liked me on Facebook, all 58,000 of you, and all, let's see here, 104,000 people on Twitter. Wow, that's a few. And then I'm going to go ahead and +1 it on Google Plus for all 5 people who are paying attention there. You just like this video, please, and thank you, and then press the G+1 button. They've redesigned it recently. And it looks like the first 5 people to +1 this video were Rory O'Connor, Sean Jordan, Skylar Johnson, Jamie Bausch, and Stacey Ferris. And then we'll type in guess what, and we'll share it publicly so that all of your followers and my followers will be able to watch in the convenience of wherever they happen to be watching the video in bed. But the only way to like this video officially is to like it on the page that it resides on. Not as an embed, but like the original page for it. I have a gift. Honey, do you want to come on camera to open it too?
You can open it.
Okay. So I've got a gift from somebody. This is from Jesse Stay. He's a developer advocate for all sorts of people. Good friend, I guess. I'm not saying I guess he's a good friend. I mean, he is a good friend and a good person in general. He notes here on the card, congratulations on your wedding, Chris and Diana. This is a simple gift, but I thought you would appreciate it. Feel free to open before the wedding if you like, in case you want to use it with the cake, etc. Use with the cake? What could this be? Actually, I wonder if we should do this a video. Should we do this a video? Oh. Should we do a new video on this one? Sorry, wasn't thinking ahead. All right. Well, either it's broken or it's a box full of Lego bricks. What do you guys think? It is a gift to Diana and myself. Really, the only wedding gift that we've received, because we haven't asked for wedding gifts. We'll be streaming the wedding online tomorrow for all the people who have registered at nomies.com, and the video will be available live as well as after it's been recorded. Congratulations on your wedding, Chris and Diana. This is a simple gift, but I thought you would appreciate it. Feel free to open before the wedding if you like, in case you want to use it with the cake, etc. This is from Jesse Stay, a good friend and a good person, and so, let's see, use it with the cake? What is it, like a utensil of some kind? Spoon? Fork? Alright, hang on, I'm just gonna have to slap. Oh! I figured, Lego! I figured as much! Yeah, alright, see, now this is nice, because we have a couple of cakes. I've got a groom's cake, and we also have the wedding cake in general. It's not gonna be a big wedding cake, it's just gonna be a private wedding cake for I guess us. Diana, myself, my mom and dad, so our small little family, part of our family, and this is the wedding topper, officially. And Mom just went, oh, did you hear? So you got the groom with the glass that's empty, and a bride with a nice tiara and the veil there, and some flowers she's holding on to. This does not match our colors, but it'll have to do. Something interesting to note, the bride comes with 3 different hairstyles, so you can choose what color the bride's hairs would be. The male is bald, or just has a top hat. So I guess they made that as... Oh, you guessed correctly. Man, that's crazy. The nice thing about this is we will use this, and it's kind of fun, cute. We went into the Lego store. It was really a few months ago, and I saw they had these. I'm like, oh, so cool. So I got them for the minifigs, and now we have a completely different set of the Lego minifigs that will be decorating the cake that we'll take pictures of, and I'll be uploading them for everybody to see. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse.
You know us, or at least me, oh so well, though Diana would probably have this assembled by the time that the rest of this live broadcast is complete. Well, we hope to see you virtually at the wedding. If you, again, want to join us at nomies.com, all Nomies subscribers will have access to the live stream as well as the recording after it's done.
Good job.
Yay! All right. There you go. 93 likes. Awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to hit refresh. 111. We jumped pretty fast there. 93 to 111. Whew. Breakneck speed. All right. So let's go in and talk about 5 reasons Windows 8 could be a success. This is an article on LockerGnome.com. Feel free to share it, if you will. Hey, give me a second. I woke up at like 7 in the morning this morning. I'm still a little tired.
It was like 6.
Was it 6?
It was like 6:45.
Yeah, it was pretty early. Okay, I'm awake. Really, I am. I'm going to fall asleep during my own video. How's that for excitement? All right. Ready? At the beginning of this live broadcast, my dad talked about yesterday's experiences, his first time with Windows 8, as well as today's experiences with Windows 8 in a different way. I've talked before about how Windows 8 is likely going to come down the pike. It's going to have the Metro experience and the Aero experience. And the problem is that Microsoft is putting them both together in the same Windows experience. And I think that's monumentally stupid. The Metro experience works amazingly well in touch environments. The Aero experience perfectly well in the classic desktop environments with a mouse and a keyboard, or at least some kind of pointing device that's not your finger. Microsoft's trying to make everybody happy with the same operating system, and I think it's going to be a catastrophe. That's just what I'm saying, not just based on my dad's experiences with it for the first time on the desktop as well as with touch, but my own experiences in much the same way. I mean, we are, I believe, somewhat average users, right? I mean, computers in everybody's hands. I mean, we've got these things, these touch computers. We got these desktop computers. We use computers for one reason or another. Some of us know more, some of us know less. So, my question to you is, do you think Windows 8 will be a success? Based on your experiences with the developer or consumer preview right now, based on what you've seen, where do you believe Microsoft's going to go with this? Will Windows 8 be a success? Give us your opinions. We've given you 5 reasons in the article linked in the description, just so you know. We've got no horse in this race. We would want to see it be successful. In fact, I've said this before, I would probably get a Windows 8 on a touch computer, or a tablet computer, much like an iPad is. I would get Windows 8 on that, but I wouldn't probably be that excited about getting Windows 8 on a traditional desktop computer because Windows 8 shines on the mobile experience, especially with Metro, so long as you're only using Metro and not Aero. So the 5 reasons we came up with in terms of we believe Windows 8 could be a success. The Metro UI is simple. It's straightforward. It's easy to use. 2, apps are inherently more secure. If you just shop through their app store or just go and click and download directly from what Microsoft is providing, really, what could go wrong? How could you install malware? How would you even worry about viruses if the only thing you downloaded was specifically through Microsoft? I mean, imagine if a virus came into Microsoft's App Store. Boy, that would be a bad day for everybody. The third reason, one interface to learn across desktop and mobile devices. So there are two sides to every coin. I believe that it's insane to have both Aero and Metro in the same Windows environment or experience, flipping back and forth between the two. But the same could be said, or I guess the opposite could be said, that could be a good thing, not necessarily just a bad thing, because what you learn on the desktop could translate to what you learn on a mobile device. So you could have a desktop computer running Windows 8, or you could have a mobile computer running Windows 8 that's, got a touch experience. And you wouldn't have to relearn anything. It's the same thing. I would err on the side of disagreeing with that viewpoint, but still, some people believe it's valid, just in theory, not necessarily in practice. The fourth thing, I should go in and explain that Microsoft has, they've got a monumental task in front of them. But Windows 8, and how it's developing, specifically with Metro, and that experience, not the Windows that you've known for years, not the Aero experience, or before that, Luna. We're talking about Metro. And I think there's going to be less confusion for every user in the long run if Microsoft focuses on the Metro experience moving forward. It is pretty amazing to see. It is pretty amazing to use when you're using touch. I've done it. I was astounded. They have a bit of work to do, some fit and finish, some polish to put on that thing. But in the long run, people are going to be less confused. And I think that's a good thing for personal computing, because when it comes to power in technology, you don't want to wield that power and beat it over someone's head. That's not power. That's not showing your power properly. If you want to surface the power of technology, make it accessible, make it easy to use. So those are a few of our thoughts on why Windows 8 could very well be successful. You may agree or disagree. I'm sure you have your own thoughts. Take a look at the article. Please feel free to leave a comment there and here, and plus one it as well, just like Alex Pirillo, Skylar Johnson, Jamie Bouch, Stacey Ferris, and Matthew Sabia has done, and I just did right there, so that everybody following me on Google Plus will see that I want Windows 8 to succeed. Yay, okay. That's that one. Now, Dad, we're actually going to do your segment. Well, hang on. Wait. Okay. We've got one article on LockerGnome called PC to Mac or Mac to PC, have you changed? And so I want to have Dad's first experience with OS 10, and I want to wrap the question in there. So in the brief time that you've used it, would you ever consider possibly switching to a Mac? So I'll tail that in there. All right. Now we're going to talk about everybody's favorite device before I look at the traffic sources on LockerGnome.com. I hope you guys have visited LockerGnome.com, the top 10 list. Oh, you guys are going to love this. I'm going to read it right now. Top 10 list of people visiting LockerGnome.com right now. Number 1, by a long shot, United States. Falling in at number 2, Canada. Number 3, wow, I think this is the first time Canada's taken second place. Number 3, United Kingdom. Sorry, you're moving down the charts there. Number 4, Australia. Number 5, Sweden. Number 6, Greece. Number 7, Mexico. Number 8, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Number 9, the Czech Republic. And number 10, Germany. So congratulations, everybody, for, if you at least had visited LockerGnome, your country would have counted there. And there's our top 10 countries for today. going to go ahead and then I want to do this article first. Something that I wrote on LockerGnome.com earlier based on my observations with the naming convention for iPad. I think the biggest surprise to come from yesterday's iPad announcement was its name. So many people were spreading rumors that it was going to be called iPad HD or iPad 3. Made sense, right? We had iPad, iPad 2. What would be next? Well, let's take a step back. I wrote an article on LockerGnome.com. Why is it the new iPad? Not iPad 3 or iPad HD. And the reason why is most people don't think of products by their handle, their label, right? They may be shopping for something, but once they've picked it up, they don't really refer to it as its model number. For example, if you have, let's say, purchased an iPad 2, do you still call it iPad 2? Or do you call it your iPad? Yeah, it's a good question. You probably refer to it as iPad, or your iPad, or the iPad. So, if you think about it, it only makes sense that Apple would drop version numbers and, let's say, model numbers, or versions from the product's name. You don't walk around buying, at least from Apple's universe, MacBook 7, or an iMac 8, or an Apple TV 3. You buy Apple TV, an iMac, or you buy a MacBook. It stands to reason that they're getting rid of the versions on iPad. I mean, in terms of labeling. Most people are interested in a good experience. They want to make sure they're getting something that's decent. So yesterday, my dad, I think it was before the broadcast, the announcement, Dad pointed at a sheet of paper, like a circular, one of the advertisements that would come with a newspaper, and he says, I'm going to get this PC. Now, if I asked him, what's the model number of that PC, I would be shocked if he could remember it. He was interested in what that PC could give to him, provide, right? He doesn't care about a model number, he just knows it's a PC. And more importantly, even after he buys the PC and knows the model number that he wants, once he gets it home, do you think he's going to remember it after he's been using it for some time? No, it just melts away. It's the PC. He may know the manufacturer, he may know the operating system, he may know the software on there, but in terms of a model number, it's not very important. Doesn't mean that it's not important to know which generation you might be picking up. So, for instance, if you knew there were 3 iPads available to buy, you may want the 3rd generation iPad. But is it more important to note the generation or the features that any one particular iPad might provide? It just makes sense. Someone's going to walk into a store and ask for an iPad. Which iPad do you want? No, they just want an iPad. I don't know, I just want the iPad. I want the iPad. And they're always going to get the newest iPad. So the new iPad is just iPad. It's not new iPad, it's iPad. And the next new iPad will be the new iPad. It also will be called iPad. Apple is weaning you off of version numbers or model numbers in product names. And certainly Apple's not the only company to have done something like this. I think they are setting a precedent and reversing what they had started to do, at least with the iPad series of products. Of course, we had iPad, iPad 2, and now we have iPad again, or the new iPad. It's just iPad, and that's what people call it. You walk into a store, you just want the newest thing, right? This shouldn't come to a shock to anybody. And I've outlined, this reasoning and given you, practical, tangible examples on why this makes sense. It's far less confusing for the average consumer to get rid of model numbers and versions. People just want to know they're getting a good experience. So take a look at the article. Let me know what you think. I'm curious to know what you guys did think about Apple making this decision. I think, by and large, your initial reactions were much like mine, like, huh? Then you think about it. then it starts to make more sense. And I think Apple is certainly on the right track. I mean, I don't think this is going to hurt their sales any, that's for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and move down the line and go with the next article. Did that make sense, guys? Did it make sense, what I was saying? Was it cogent?
I agree.
Did I order the new iPad? I haven't even talked about ordering the new iPad. Yes, I did. Why did they ditch the number? Well, will they ditch the number after iPhones? We don't know. We don't know. No one knows. All right, you ready, honey?
Ready.
Your computer may be killing you. That's not just me trying to throw a log onto the fire. It's serious. We've uncovered some research that was recently done by the Baker IDI Heart and Diabetes Institute. And they basically were saying, and to quote directly from the article that's linked in this video's description, which you might want to look at if you use computers. Does anybody here, do you guys use computers? Do you? While simply staring at a computer screen is bad for your eyes, especially in the dark, using your computer all day has now been shown to produce other deadly effects and may slowly be killing you. In a recent study by this institute, published recently in Diabetes Care, a publication of the American Diabetes Association, sitting down for long periods of time without movement can lead to an increased risk of diabetes. So, you're thinking, oh, I love my desktop and everything that it provides. You may not use it all day. You may think about starting to use your pocket computers or your tablet computers, getting away from these computers and move around. And this is very important, especially if you're like me. You work for yourself at home. You sit in front of a computer. I get up very regularly. I move around. Throughout the day. In fact, I think the longest period of time that I sit in front of a computer is specifically when I'm doing these video broadcasts on YouTube. It's important that I pretty much stay in one place. So, something to keep in mind. You may be in line, according to this research, for diabetes. And I'd assume this is type 2 diabetes, adult onset diabetes. And that's not a good thing. So I know you love your computer. Just keep in mind that even with the perfect posture and you got your ergonomic thing set up and the great monitor, walk around. Do other things other than sit in front of a computer. Same thing could probably also be said for gaming. I hate to break it to you, but you need to take a break. Take a look at the article. Let us know what you think. I should ask this: has your health been impacted negatively by your use of computers? I'd be curious to know your stories, and certainly I'm sure others would be interested in hearing them as well. Feel free to share this page when you see it, either the video or the link that's in the video's description here. +1 it, tweet it, like it as well. We'd certainly like to get the word out, because if it saves someone from getting diabetes, well, I think it was worth the effort. Woo! Alright, but I'm still... I'm tired. I don't know why. Yawning all over the place. Sorry, guys. I hope you guys aren't yawning. I hope this is, not boring anybody else. It's not boring. I swear to God, it's not boring. What?
Can I add something? I didn't want to do it during the video.
Yes?
But I just read an article in the Reader's Digest that all you have to do is stand up for 60 seconds.
Oh, all you need to do is stand up for 60 seconds. All right.
Right. And also...
60 sec, time me.
It's not just the computers, the gaming. It's riding in a car. You shouldn't ride in a car.
You shouldn't ride in a car. You also shouldn't
For
eat
a
junk
long
food.
time, airplanes, any place that you sit for a long time, you should always get up at least an hour every hour and just stand because the blood pools to the bottom. It's not good for your heart.
Definitely isn't good for your heart.
The blood pools.
You know what's not good for your fingers? Cheese curls. But they are tasty. Hang on. Mom.
Diana likes them.
Mom. Oh, look, I got some cheese. I got some extra cheese on my sandwich.
I always called them Cheetos. You call them
That's a brand name.
But they're not Cheetos cheese curls, are they?
I don't know.
Oh.
But they're tasty. Thank you, Mom. Did you hear the tinkling when I grabbed the sandwich and brought it over here? My dogs are only interested in me when I have food because they believe that as I'm stuffing it into my mouth, some will fall to the floor and they'll get the leavings, the scraps. Okay, so that wasn't exactly a minute standing up, but I gotta move around, get a little bit of food in my belly so I can keep going on. Oh, it's not just me? That's good to know. All right, so let's talk about powerful software, free software called Soundflower. Oh, I wasn't sure if I didn't hear. I didn't see a signal. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do it? Try it again.
Whenever you're ready,
Okay.
I'll start.
Last night, I was doing a webinar with Jerry Hobby, one of our fellow Nomies. We were talking about mastermind groups, and I needed to figure out a way to screencast the webinar. I needed to do a few different things with audio so that I could record myself, him, the screen, and not worry about having any kind of impact on the quality of the recording. Well, it turned out in order to make it work right, I had to use a second computer. And then I had to funnel all the audio that was coming out of the speakers and my microphone into a virtual device, a virtual audio output, if you will. There are ways that you can do this in Windows, and there are ways you can do this in OS X. And the easiest way to do it in OS X is with a free program called Soundflower. You should check it out if you haven't already. And we've written up a very brief tutorial on how to set up Soundflower for audio recording. I could have used this tutorial last night, but I ended up getting through most of it, I would say. I had to work out a few kinks. I redirected everything into the virtual speaker, the virtual output, and then it worked just fine. If you've ever had any problems with Soundflower, if you want a good place to start with Soundflower, to even know if Soundflower is a good solution for you on the Mac, check it out. It is free, as is the article that's linked in the description. In fact, let me go ahead and +1 this so that other people will be able to see it. And see, the nice thing about +1ing articles, by the way, you go to Google, you search for something. If you circled me on Google+, the things that I've +1 will show up in your search results. All the more reason you want to circle me. So, Soundflower. Anybody else a big fan of Soundflower? I like it because, certainly the price, free, and it works. It works very, very well. And because of Soundflower, I was able to record a high-quality recording of our webinar last night. If you have any other Soundflower tips or tricks, feel free to let us know what you got up your sleeve. Leave a comment here or in the article that we've linked in the description. Whew. All right. Living behind the hardware curve. And then we'll get going with Dad on the Mac after this video. And I think we always talk about the latest and greatest, but this is not. This is definitely not. All right, you ready? We always seem to talk about the latest and greatest. But what about older generations of technology? I know there are many of you out there who still use computers that are probably older than a majority of our audience. But that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. As long as the computer is able to do what you need it to do, and it does it well, nothing to worry about. So we've got one of our contributors, Harold Johnson, who's been having some PC problems. He's got an older PC, and it's been giving him fits. And he has written an article, Living Behind the Hardware Curve. If you are someone who doesn't need to have the latest and greatest, you're not alone. Harold's just like you. See, y'all think that we're all about, just what's happening now. No. We're all about technology in general. And Harold certainly has a story that is probably very familiar to a lot of you out there if you've ever dealt with an old computer. That is your primary computer. I have old computers. I still use old computers for different things. What's the oldest computer that you have lying around? And is it still working? And I guess that's the second part of the question to qualify it. I mean, it's one thing to have an old computer lying around that's not doing anything. Are you still using it? Is it your primary computer? And are you fine with it? Why would you need to upgrade to something new if it really wasn't offering something more that you thought you were already being, I guess, or not just being, you're already handling well enough with the computer sitting in front of you? Now, that doesn't mean that, new computers don't have problems, but certainly there are a lot of older computers that run into problems over time because of wear and tear. So, Howard's outlined his experiences and frustrations with using an old PC, and I thought, his story was rather telling. I think there are more people in this world who use old technology, or maybe it's not always been old, but they buy it and they hold on to it for a long period of time, and, it's not a bad thing. You save a lot of money by not always upgrading. Don't feel that you need to upgrade, I think is really the statement that I want to make. If what you have works well enough, succumbing to the pressure of the newfangled doodads may land you into more trouble. Upgrade once, and stick with it for a while. There's no need to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. Crazy Tika, I like to upgrade, but must have the affordable latest and greatest. The most affordable, see, that's the thing. I still have my Windows 95 486. I kept it so I could play my old DOS games. Wow. There's emulators for DOS? Or you could use virtual machines. My history teacher still uses MS-DOS, which is about right for his position. No doubt about that. Take a look at the post here that we've linked in the video's description right up front. Let me know what you think about old technology. It's not so bad. Harold's story is certainly interesting. If you have good stories about old technology that you still rely on, or if you have an old computer, feel free to let us know why you still have that old computer. I'd be interested in knowing what you guys think. Here we go. I forgot. I got +1 it. It's old-ish technology. All right. So, okay, now PC. Okay, so we're gonna dovetail this video of you using OS X for the first time into where's the okay, use this mouse. We're gonna use let me make sure it's still okay. Dad's going to use the Mac for the first time, OS X. This is Lion. And here, I guess we can, hopefully this will be positioned just fine. So he's going to do it, and at the end, or as soon as he's kind of played around with it for a bit, I'll ask him quite simply if he'd ever consider, just in the using it, possibly switching or starting to use OS X alongside of Windows, and potentially answer a few questions. This is being done in conjunction with the article PC to Mac or Mac to PC. Have you changed? So I think I've got everything set up just right. I had to basically fudge with the keyboard a bit to get it to work the way I needed it to work. I'm actually connected to OS X on the iMac by way of a remote desktop session on my Mac Pro that has the keyboard. It's I had to do some magic to get this to work. Okay, are you ready, Dad? Sure. All right, I'm gonna reposition the camera as he comes over here.
It's this one. No?
Yeah, it's that one. Something like that. Is that better?
Yeah, the laptop's in the way.
The laptop's in the way? Oh, I see it. Okay. Thank you. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Are you looking straight at it? Can you see everything okay?
Yeah, actually.
All right. Give me a second.
You want me to keep looking there?
Yeah, or you can look over the camera. It's okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, sorry. Oh, crap. I screwed it up.
That's okay.
All right.
Or you
I'll key in. I'll do it, baby. I'll lead in. Yesterday, my dad has tried Windows 8 for the first time on the computer that's now in front of him. It's still the same computer. This is OS 10, latest version of Lion. He has never used a Mac before. He's used an iPhone. He's used an iPad. He likes them. He is a dyed-in-the-wool Windows user. Still loves his XP. Never used a Mac before. So a lot of people who were watching his Windows 8 frustrations and trying to get back or go back and forth between Metro and Aero, those two experiences that Microsoft's trying to push down the pike in the same release of Windows 8. Some people said, well, that's not fair. What would happen if he used OS 10 for the first time? So he's using OS 10 for the first time. All right, go ahead. Just give her go explore and let me know what you think, and maybe I'll ask you to do a couple of tasks to see how well you can do them.
Okay. Now, you know your dad's not a singer, right? Dun 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 dun. I feel like I'm going into space with
the wallpaper.
What do you want me to do? Just I see a lot of familiar things, but the key is I see a lot of familiar things. That's kind of nice to know.
Well, maybe I have to give you a directive.
And then it's got probably menus under here if I click on these.
Okay, I'll give you. I'll start you with a simple task. Go to the internet.
Go to the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Go to the internet. I'm looking down here first.
Congratulations.
Wow! Uh-oh, what's coming up now? What's all these? Oh. These must be like windows that you've had up or something.
Nope, this is a brand new user.
Oh, okay. So now there's something missing I would like to see. Again, because I'm old. Google. But I think I can find it. Because I can just... Well, wait a minute. I found Google's map. Wait a minute. And if I click on this, I think it'll... No, maybe not. But I did get the... Well, there's another way, so I'll just search... That brought me back to kind of where I was. If I got to close this, or minimum, okay. So, probably because it copyright laws, instead of coming over here to the right to close it, you evidently, because of this red button turned into an X, that must be how I close that window. Yeah. You probably move them the same way. Yeah. What I'm trying to find is, so that you know what I'm looking for, is the Google, just the plain Google. That's what I'm trying to locate.
Sure, that what you're running into is actually a completely different problem. That's Google has recently changed it so that you can't click the Google logo in the upper left-hand corner of the website.
Yeah, I used to be able to do that, I know. Try this. I don't want to delete. Aha! There it is.
All right.
So now what I would do, well, I'd have to figure out how to do this, but I'd want to, if it were possible to get it down here in this, where all these pictures are down here, like that I'm familiar with these pictures, that'd be nice. Because Safari, I know is the same type of thing, but I'm just used to the Google. So I would probably try to save this somewhere. Maybe this plus. Okay, so I think I did this right. This plus is allowing me to save this as a bookmark. Add this to my reading list. Not quite sure what that means, but I want it, so I'm going to put it add to that. Okay, so put it somewhere. I saw a little gizmo jump. Maybe it's in this thing. I don't see it. There it is. So I found it a different way, but I'd still want to figure out where that is. Well, what I did there is I went to the one and it wasn't what I want, so I looked for a way to go back and I saw the arrow, so that's why I came back here. Well, it's not on there either. I can install Google Chrome. I'm going to close this and look for it. I hate to close it. I'll minimize it. Okay, so right now what I did is, and I put it down here, I watched it kind of shrink up and went down to the bottom, so I know where it's at. It's down here where I'd like to have it, so for me that would work, and I probably wouldn't go any further, but I'm really curious as to where it's at, as far as in... I'll pull that up. What's on here twice? Okay, so that there's bookmarks here. So that's how I found it again. But I'm going to minimize it just in case I need it a little bit. But I obviously know what this one is. That's the trash can, so I could throw things away. I probably can drag things. Someone has some downloads on here. Open it. Oh, okay. So if I want to learn about downloads, if I want to learn what this is, there's a README type deal here. But I don't particularly care right now. I'm just trying to figure out what all the icons are right now. Documents, that must be, my guess is like Excel, well, excuse me, numbers and whatever the words is. Oh, that's your parallels that you were using yesterday. Okay, again, it's got a README type thing. Okay, it's a one-page document. Okay, and I could read that, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I'll just close this one, so I want to see what else is. These are probably photos. It didn't do anything when I clicked it. Oh, okay, there it is. Keep in dock. Okay, so this bar along the bottom must be what Apple or Mac calls it, the dock, because that's where this is. I'm like in school, so I'm looking back at the teacher, seeing if I can come heading right. So, open that login, show in Finder. Okay, so no, I want to keep it right where it is. So we'll just leave that for now. And this system preferences, that's all the preferences for like my printer and all those kinds of things, probably. That's got the dock, so here must be something about the dock. I'm not going to open all these because I really don't. Oh, here's the cloud, and I'm kind of afraid of the cloud right now, but I might use it at some point. Here's something from Star Wars. I'm going to click this to see what it is. It says teleport, I think.
That's actually an extension I have installed on the computer for all users.
Oh, so I should not use that. I shouldn't mess with that. I'll just close
it. Makes it easier to share screens between different computers, or to use the same keyboard and mouse on different monitors.
Okay, so it's like an app.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I know what this one is because I loaded it on my, that's iPhoto, that's new. That's what they were just talking about. This is Photo Booth, yeah, I got that app. And this, I hate the word iTunes, but this doesn't mean it in the sense that I don't like it. I think this is probably where you store, well, wait a minute, maybe it is iTunes. Yeah, because you got, here's one of them lengthy things. Okay, now here, let's, just to show you what just amazes me. I don't know how many people actually read all this stuff, number one. And for you that read it, unless you're an English major or a lawyer, I don't know how you can understand it. But the bottom line is, if you decline it, you can't do whatever it is you're trying to do. So you have to agree. There really is no choice. So I'm going to agree just to see what this... Okay, this is the iTunes I don't like. So we'll close this so I just get out of here. Don't download. We'll get out of this. We'll close this window. Do they call them windows? And I'll close this window. So that's iTunes. On this is calendar, I think. Yeah. I use this on my iPhone a lot. And I like the month setting on the iPhone. Now this is a little bit more expanded than on the iPhone, but I think it's a little more expanded on the iPad also. So we'll close that. I know what that is. Well, and maybe that isn't fair in that I know what these icons... Well, no. I was going to say maybe it's unfair for you guys to judge me using this because I'm saying I know all these. Well, just turning that real quick over in my head, what that told me was Apple or Mac or whoever did a good job training me. Now they're using the kind of the same thing on this desktop that they're using on my iPad and on my own iPhone, so there's some consistency. And I didn't have to search for this thing down there, so I immediately saw that. So just a little thought that hit my head. Address book, that's probably all your contact. Well, not probably. It is all your contacts, I'm sure. And this is that's when Chris calls me to visit with me. He uses the FaceTime. Safari, that's just another, I think they're called search engines. That's like Google. I guess that's Apple's Google. And mail, I'm not sure what mail we got, probably Gmail. Well, it's got my name on there. So I could get into my Gmail, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm sure I could do all I'd have to do is put in my username and my password and probably take me to Gmail. I'm assuming that because that's what I use. Email. And this is the app store, so I can go find all those apps. And I kind of like, I don't always get them, but I kind of like looking at them to see what's available. Oh, that was cool. Now there it said see all, and so I clicked that and then showing me all the ones under this particular category. On here's the various things like the top charts, categories. That's usually where I start. I'll go to the categories, and usually the first one I look at, except for the other day, that's how I found the photo. I did the app and I went into photography and found the new iPhoto. But I had to update my iPad, and that was kind of a pain because I had to use iTunes. And games, education, but business is usually the one I'll browse it just to kind of look, see what's out there. And I don't need to do that right now, but that's kind of what I would do. It's like window shopping. That was the App Store. Mission Control, not sure what that is, so I'm going to open. Now what I would do, if I were organized, I'd get the calculator over here. Again, because I read left to right, I would put these in a way that makes sense to me.
Why don't you add a widget there to the desktop?
A widget? Well, I see an arrow on the right and I see a plus sign, and since I want to add, being an accountant, I'm going to hit the plus sign. Oh, okay. So I assume widgets was new. We used to use that terminology in accounting. There's some people out there who might remember when you did a sample, you were always selling widgets. That might be why they use this. Okay, I already have this clock.
Why don't you go ahead and add the sports ticker?
Sports. ESPN. Probably just drag it. Okay. That's cool.
Okay, go ahead and exit out of that menu.
Exit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not real sure how I'm going to do that, but I would try to hit the this multiply sign now. Okay. Like that.
Mm-hmm. Now get back to the desktop.
Well, I'm trying. I gotta see if I can make this bigger. Does it gotta be that size?
Widgets are usually locked into a certain size.
Okay. What's this arrow? Uh-oh.
Good job.
But now to get back to that,
You're on
I'll
the
probably
desktop.
just
How do you get back?
probably right here. And then up here.
Mm-hmm. Now get back to the desktop again.
Yeah. I'm checking to see if they got any hidden menus. So I'm just kind of going into the corners because there's a bar at the top I noticed earlier that looks familiar with what I'm used to working with Windows or with XP and Windows 7 too. But they have this kind of stuff like File, And this must be where you manage your various files. Edit, obviously that's the edit. Cut, paste. Although I know there's some shortcuts too. The view, different view modes. And a sort by. Okay, that's probably to sort things that you're working on the go. All my files. Just takes you different places. Go home. I wonder what home is. Okay, so this is it's where all your various items are stored in the various folders. And here's a nice feature, help. So that's nice to know. You can search for things there, I assume. So I can probably type something in, it'll probably help me find it. So let me just try. I know it's called numbers. Whoops. Okay, so about numbers. Okay, so it has a little tutorial type of deal. Tells you, gives you a quick overview, and then gives you an option to open the App Store. I'm assuming if you wanted to get it, then you could buy it and it would load it onto your desktop or onto your computer. So I'll close that. Then on the right side, there's some things. My name's up there, and then there's a spotlight. I'm not sure what the search spotlight is. Huh. Okay, so let me go over here.
What are you doing?
It said spotlight, and I'm not sure what that is, so I thought I could go over to the help. And the first one is what is spotlight, so I'll select that, and it's going to tell me what it is. And you can scroll down. It's kind of a small, I'm used to a bigger wheel, but that's no big deal. This one feels better, actually. Uh-oh. I said it feels better. I like Windows. Okay. Yeah, but I can read all this. But I'm the type of person that I'm not as good a reader as my wife and my son, so I would probably have to read it a couple times for everything to sink in, so I'm not going to do that right now. So I'm just going to close out. I found what I wanted to know, and that was what it was. Then it just has the day and time. Now I wonder if you click on that. Okay, so there you can get the date. You just click on it, and then you can see what the date is. If you're like me and you're older and you forget what the date is, you can do that real quick to see what the date is. And in Windows, it's down here on the bottom, and I can hover it, and then it'll show me what it is. And this is the speakers. Yeah, so you can control the volume with the little slider, and it gives you a little graphic. Oh, and it gives you a little kickback there. So I can set it different levels. Okay. That's good to have out up there. That's your Wi-Fi to get you hooked into the Wi-Fi system. There's this little icon. I can't tell you what it looks like because I'm not sure what it is. Oh, that's Bluetooth. So it must be currently on because the two on options I can't select them, but it's giving me an option to turn it off. So if that's my option, that means it's on. So I'm not going to mess with it. Oh, and then I must have Chris's mouse in my hand. So that must be the different settings for the mouse sensitivity and all that kind of stuff. But everything's working good. This looks like a little clock. Oh, okay, this is like backups. Open time machine preferences. I'm going to open that, just look. Okay, now this is on. Now my guess is that's probably some kind of a backup, maybe. Okay, so I don't see that down here, but you can. I think you can put this icon down on your, I forget what they call that. I kind of like this deal down here where everything's visible to me.
Actually, you haven't clicked on a couple of icons yet down there.
Down here,
Mm-hmm.
face, is this like Finder? I don't think I did that one. Let me close this off. And there was one more, and it looks like a little house. So I'm going to hit it just to see where it takes me. Active alarm system.
It's just another app I have installed for all users on that machine.
Cool.
So basically, no one can steal it.
Yeah, I think I stopped at mission control when I start messing with that one. There's a little rocket ship. It says Launchpad, and that sounds kind of interesting, so we're just going to look and see what it is. Probably, my guess is, it's a guess, but maybe launch a program or something like that. Oh, here's iMovie. I got that one, but okay. Here's a little gizmo down here. You must be able to. Oh. I'm not sure how I'm getting that to move. Oh, there, I just click on and hold and then just, I got it. So these must be all the applications that are on this computer here. Or they're the backups. Well, a lot of them these look familiar, so it could be because Chris I know is on the cloud, so this is all the stuff is probably not only here, but it's probably on his MacBook and on his iPad, and a lot of it's probably on his iPhone too. And so any of these I can open. We got a lot on there. And then down here kind of shows you how many pages there are. So they're not, like some people organize them into one little folder, like on the phone or the iPad, you could organize those. And my guess is you probably can here, no? Oh, I saw Evernote. Yeah, right there.
Go ahead and launch it.
Launch Evernote. I haven't really used that one. Should I check updates for you? Okay, it needs a password. You're probably, so we won't mess with that.
I just wanted to
I launched
see if
it.
you knew how to launch it. So you've run through a fair amount of it and actually discovered a couple of things on your own. And that's kind of what I was hoping for in your first use of OS 10. So given this, we're asked the question all the time: Mac versus Windows, Mac OS 10 versus Windows, or OS 10 versus Windows, Mac versus PC. And we've written an article really asking our community which way are they going, are they thinking of one or the other. Now, as someone who's used Windows all their life, you slid around OS 10 pretty easily. Now, part of that may be that you were somewhat familiar with the icons, but I will point out the fact that when you discovered that help menu, you knew how to use it when you didn't realize what something was in another part of the operating system. So my question to you is, based on this very brief experience, would it ever come to mind that you would possibly ever think about getting a Mac and using OS 10 alongside Windows, if not over Windows?
I think it would be nice to know something in addition to Windows, because I think actually from what I'm seeing, I think Mac is doing a better job with consistency, especially in light of this experience yesterday. And I was very happy. It was interesting hearing Chris talk about older computers and that kind of. That can be said for software too, because XP works fine for me. It does everything I want to do, so why use anything else? The only reason I use Windows 7 is because I bought a newer iPad, and you can't get XP anymore, or at least not that I know how. I think you probably can somehow, but I can't. So yeah, I'd be interested in kind of maybe learning some things. I'd like to learn numbers and see how that works. Now someone commented on something I had, I think it was in Google Plus, and I forget the guy's name, but I answered him with his initials because he had 3, like his middle name, RGB, something like that. And I told him that I thought the future was things like the iPad. They're so small, and if I could get over this hump with the cloud, you could probably do everything on a tablet type computer. I mean, the only thing you would need, because occasionally you're going to need to print something, so you'd have to have access to a printer. But other than that, everything could probably be done on a small device you just carry with you all the time. Like when I used to carry the Franklin planner, and then I made my own Franklin planner. So I just got to get over that hump, and that's a tough hump for me to get over. But maybe in a year, maybe I will be over the hump.
Now, you gotta say, for a first experience, isn't that a hell of a lot better than Windows 8?
Yeah, it was. It really was. But the Windows 8 thing on that, when she was swiping that thing around, it looked cool.
It was neat. I agree, Dad.
Said, "Here, do it."
I don't.
Start moving it around.
I do not disagree at all. I've said that Windows 8 will work very well if they keep it to Metro on touch experiences. The problem is we're still stuck with keyboards and mice on these desktops, and they're trying to push the paradigms together, and it doesn't work. And they'll find out it doesn't work if they keep along that path.
I like the icons better than the blocks. I'd rather have an icon. They should give you an option, icon or block.
Here's my dad's first experience with OS X, and I would say that it was a successful experience. Perfect dovetail with the article. Guess someone's at the door. No idea. Backlink of the day, blog. Let's see here. What is it? blogediscovery.merlin1.com. And he linked back to, looks like our post on the growth of evidence from smartphones and text messages being used in divorce cases. So, if you want to be considered the backlink of the day, get the backlink in our email newsletter, as well as on the blog, as well as, where else? Oh yeah, the video's description for the live TLDR episodes. It's not the doorbell ditcher. I heard a car driving away, and I think they dropped something off. Hopefully. Mom answered the door. It's nice to have some extra hands on hand sometimes. It takes a production to be this household. So, anyway, that's the backlink of the day. Nomi of the day. Diana, who have you picked?
I have picked Bentar.
Bentar is our Nomi of the day, according to Diana. Congratulations. By the way, we are still giving away that complimentary annual Nomi subscription for someone. If you are participating in the community, commenting, liking, plus wanting, sharing. And I gotta tell you, there's still, to me, and I've seen a few. I think it would be, let's see here. I didn't get the name right. I mentioned it yesterday, but he's plus one to every single thing. Matthew Chiang has plus one and shared and commented on everything LockerGnome has done. That is an amazing Nomi, I would say, potentially, but Diana will pick that. That looks like being the shape of an iPad there. Did you get an iPad and not tell me?
It's a little smaller.
Oh, it's smaller than an iPad. Is it a new iPad? A small iPad?
Maybe it's a FASIC calculator.
It's an old calculator, Dad thinks? No, not everything's a calculator, Dad. despite you looking for calculators and numbers and spreadsheets. That's apparently an operating system is made based on its ability to use spreadsheets. Who knew? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We will be broadcasting this again tomorrow, TLDR, live at 3 p.m. We've got everything going on at LockerGnome.com. If you haven't stopped by there, please do. Subscribe to the newsletter when you're over there. It's free. It's easy. And, of course, you're more than welcome to stop by the live video feed that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.